What is your name and what do you do?
My name's Latoya Jones, and I am in STNA.
Where are you from originally, Latoya?
I'm from Marion, born and raised.
Tell us a little bit about your family and how you were raised as a child.
I'm the third child of four of us siblings. I was raised in a single family home with my mom. We pretty much took care of each other. We basically grew up on the fields of Harding with my older brother playing football. We kind of were each other's babysitters. So anytime my mom was at work, we were kind of tagging along with the older siblings until they went off to college.
So where was your dad in all this?
He was around when convenient for him. Let's put it that way. Love my dad to death. But it was like a weekend thing. Sometimes we would go for the weekends, off and on, pretty much growing up.
But you guys have a good relationship now and everything?
We are. He's very present in all the grandkids' lives. He's showing up to like every basketball game, honestly. He's around.
So tell us about your family now, what hobbies you have.
Well, I do have a 15-year-old son. He basically consumes all of my time outside of work. He's very active in sports. With basketball, we travel all over in the summertime, so my summer's taken up. But that's pretty much what I'm doing outside of work.
Yeah. What made you want to become an STNA?
I think my purpose was basically to help other people in some kind of way. Like my first job was at the Boys and Girls Club. I was like, I enjoyed being around the kids and seeing them and helping them. So now it kind of like progressed to the elderly. Healthcare is like a demanding field, so that's where I decided to go.
And what do you do on a daily basis as STNA?
Patient care. Basically everything the nurses won't do, we do.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us some of the struggles that you've endured throughout your life. Some things that stick out to you that other people might not know about you.
Well, I was a teen mom. I was pregnant my senior year of high school, pretty much throughout the half of the year. I walked across the stage at 6 months pregnant, and had him that fall in October. The struggle of being a young parent, the pressure that came with it, the unknown, like you have no idea what you're walking into as a young parent. What you think you have no idea, like at that age. You kind of got to grow up pretty fast.
So after because you said when you walked across the stage, you were 6 months pregnant, correct? So you were walking across the stage to get your diploma?
Right,
So
correct.
after you graduated high school and you had your child, where did you go from there?
As bad as I wanted to go to school, I knew that I couldn't go to college right away. Like that was my probably biggest issue with being a young parent. I put my dreams on the back burner after that. Like you're living for another human being now. Like you're not living for yourself. So, but that idle time kind of got me into some trouble because I ended up playing in the streets for a while and literally caught my first felony, and my dad always says, it's easy to get in trouble, but it's hard to get out, and, I felt the wrath, it follows you for the longest time, not knowing who's gonna employ you, and, you can't go without a job and be raising a kid. Like, it kind of almost puts you in a cycle to where, you know, I can go out here and, you know, get in the streets and have that money that I need a lot quicker than begging someone to give me a job. So it's like a cycle for a while until I finally, you know, stopped getting slaps on the wrist and had to go and sit down for a while. 6 months, I literally was on probation and got violated because I was leaving the state and, you know, being around known felons, that's violation. And I had a probation hearing about 3 days before my son's, I want to say, 3rd birthday. And they basically retained me and had me do 6 months in the county. And I can remember just like begging, like, just let me turn myself in on Monday, like, let me just be out. So I didn't miss that birthday, you know, but you don't have that control when it comes to things like that. So yeah, I went and did 6 months and it was an eye-opener. Like, some people don't too much look at the signs when they're in front of you, and it's almost like you'll continue to run into a wall until you just wake up. And that was my wake-up call, like literally having to, you know, have conversation with my son at that age, like through a window, maybe once every week. You know, I'm relying on my mom to bring him down here to see me like that, having to sign over like parental guardianship to someone else for a time being, you know, that does something to you as a mom. Like, being young, that's how I kind of learned my lesson, like being that distance, that it's like a heartbreak you really can't heal. Like, I can keep telling you, like, you know, you'll see me next week, but until this time is done, I'm really not going to have that kind of bond with him at that moment. It is just I think that was my eye opener. Like, I can't do this.
So how was he reacting to seeing you in a situation like that?
At that age, like, I had a birthday in there as well, and he wanted to bring like cupcakes and stuff there, but he didn't understand, like, I can't have those. Like, mommy won't be able to eat those. So like, that's the age he was at. So he kind of got it, but he didn't at the most part. It was kind of like, once he realized, like, I'm not leaving out of here with him again, then that was his reality. And I think it took a toll on me. Like, you learn like who's really there for you when you're in a situation like that. And mail is, I mean, it's the smallest thing when you're out here. No one wants to get the mail. It's bills most of the time, but when you're in a situation like that, like, mail's a pride and joy situation. Like, that's the highlight of your day. Right. It's not the life. Like, so I kind of made my mind up at that point, like, when I get out of here, I gotta make a move. Like, something's gotta give. Gotta do something different.
Well, at least you got that lesson out of the way early and learned from it.
Oh, yeah.
So that you could be in his life for the majority of the time. If you don't mind me asking, what was the crime that you were convicted of?
Possession of a narcotic. Not a decent amount. Enough to where I was facing at, you know, my first offense ever. It was like 3 to 10 years until I had to like really go in my pocket, pay an attorney to like work my hand in the situation to where it was like, she's we know it's not hers, but it was on her person. So yeah, that was a lesson learned really early. Like, someone will let you go down for their stuff, and by the guidelines of the streets, you just don't open your mouth.
Yeah. So with you being pregnant so early and decided not to go to college because of your child, did you feel like maybe getting into that type of lifestyle was a better way to get money than other ways?
I wouldn't say, because I wasn't, it was more or less like enough for me to get by. Like, I wasn't out here like, this isn't my means by necessary. It was
Got
just
caught in a bad
like,
situation.
right.
Yeah.
And then 9 times out of 10, I'm probably dating someone in the streets at this point. That's easy access. Yeah, it was just probably money to get by.
Yeah. So have you talked about your son about similar things to stay away from so that he doesn't end up in the same situations in the future?
So I do. We have those conversations. He's at the age where kids are easily influenced. Like, they can go the right or wrong way. I think he pretty much knows, like, good and bad, but we have the conversations so that when he's exposed to it, he's not, threatened by just walking away. Like, it's okay to not do what everyone else does. Like, it's not the life. Like, it seems like they're getting younger these days. Situations where he's been able to witness firsthand people, he's played ball with or anything, just getting caught up in little messy situations. So he gets it. He's pretty smart.
And I mean, a lot of times things like what you went through can be a blessing and a curse because, yeah, you had to go do some time, but you also have that experience and you have that knowledge that you can pass to him to keep him from going down that same path.
Right.
What was the overall outlook that you received from people being pregnant so early and then having to go do some time?
Well, my mom was pretty much my support system. I had really close friends who were around majority of my pregnancy.
I know you said something about you really find out who's there for you.
Oh yeah.
So did people give up on you, didn't want to have anything to do with you anymore?
You're more of a statistic, but like, the people who genuinely care about your situation or want best for you, you'll know who's around to aid you in like the smallest things, like as far as random diapers or anything. Like, my mom, she pretty much was that support system and made sure, I'm going to get through school. I'm going to finish school pregnant. I had those people who, it's just a different world. You don't see too many pregnant girls walking around, but it happens. Like, it's real. And I mean, they had a special little classroom where they had refrigerators, and like, they aided to it. They know it's there, it happens, but it's just like, some people, life hasn't hit them before, so they look at it as in a problem, and it's not always a problem.
Yeah. What kind of mental toll do you think that took on you having to go through that?
I think as far as like having to grow up and be a parent, because you don't get to do everything everyone else does now. Like, you have someone you have to tend to. Like, I can say I didn't miss out on a lot. Like, I had people around me who made sure I didn't, but at the same time, other people don't have that support system.
So how do you cope with some of the things that you stress about these days? Is there anything else presently that you stress about that you might have to find an outlet to cope with?
I'm in a good space right now. Like, I don't think that I have too much to complain about. My son's pretty, like, he's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Like, he's at that age where I'm kind of like tracking him down. My job's great. Like, it just takes for one person to kind of believe in you and believe that, you know, second chances, you know, some people are willing to give those, and that's who you rock with.
Yeah. How long ago was that you got that felony?
Oh, that was 2009.
So pretty long time ago.
Yeah.
You got a felony and you did some time for it. You got to miss a little bit of time with your son, not a whole lot. You got out. It's been what, over a decade now. And I see on social media and everything like that you have a big role in his life.
Right.
How much of that do you think made you appreciate your time with him even more because of going through that experience?
I mean, it kind of changed my whole perspective on motherhood, honestly. Like, my biggest accomplishment basically is his success, and the more he grows and the more he becomes, you know, great, like that makes me feel even better about going through the situation I went through, because now I understand, like, that first priority is him and his well-being, and you can't put anything before that.
Everybody messes up. At least you learn from
Yeah.
it. So what would you say to somebody else in a similar situation trying to deal with it? Trying to deal with teen pregnancy, trying to deal with maybe being in jail and not able to see their kids or something like that?
I say don't let it hinder you or stop you from chasing your dreams. Like, there's a way, you know, to go about it. You'll have to work 10 times harder because you have someone you're looking after, but you don't stop chasing your dreams. Like, even through the bad outcomes, like, there's good on the other side. You just got to make it to the other side.
And Latoya, what made you want to come here and share your story with people today?
Well, I feel like there's other girls out there, younger ladies, who just need to hear what I have to say. They are faced with this same problem. Like, it could be a problem if you let it, but you have that choice to make. You just make the right choices.